What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John, and this is the preview. Yes, people, what is going on? It's John, it's Mike. Let's get straight into it, John. We've got no enjoy.
You look different. Have you shaved all your beard off?
No, it's just a bit thinner. Just cut it short.
And then you look like a fucking big Easter egg.
Brilliant. God, you really are an absolute bellend.
Well, just for the records as well, it's juice. It's not ale, it's juice. Before the fucking alcohol, please jump on me.
Brilliant. It was funny, actually, because there was a few people saying you were drunk at the game, and I was like, he wasn't.
I was with you. I walked up to the game with you.
I know. Well,
I got pissed in the 15 minutes at half time.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. You look like a raging crackhead.
Yeah, I look like Gaza, don't I? Every fucking video we do.
Brilliant. Right, let's get on to Crystal Palace, shall we, John?
Tough game. Looking at the stats before, the last 10 games, they've won 5, they've drew 3, and they've lost 2. They've picked up some points against some better teams, shall we call, like some Man City, even though they are struggling. It's a tough away ground to go to, mate. But I go into this game with confidence, scoring at the last minute the other night, injury time, 98th minute. I hope the players can take that sort of bounce into this game with them and just get into it from the off. Because if you do, Michael, you do that against most teams, and I've said it on here a lot, come out the blocks quick, it gives you half a chance regardless of who you're playing. We seen it the other night, it was a good performance. I'm quietly confident with the run that we're on and the wins that we've been picking up since the new manager come in, quietly confident that we can get a decent result down there.
Yeah, it's funny really, isn't it, that this is two teams that at times this season have struggled, and yet both teams at the minute, I'm not going to say flying, but they're doing well. Everton go into it on the back of no defeats in 4. We've lost the Villa game. That was it under Moyes, and even that game we looked better. We obviously lost to Bournemouth the weekend, and that was disappointing, if I'm being honest, it was. But the big encouraging things for me was the bounce back. The bounce back, the never say die. And, we spoke about how much that meant for the derby. And those players, there's lots of changes to this Everton team. This is not Everton's strongest team. You could argue that Ndiaye, McNeil would both start, Calvert-Lewin might start, Mangala would start. You're looking at maybe 4 or 5 players that are out on a regular basis, and Everton have managed to sort of cope with it. And the additions in terms of people coming into the team and playing and way that we've been playing have scored goals. They've created chances. Beto's got 3 in 4. I was looking at some stats. I think he scored something like, I mentioned it last night. I think it might be slightly different, but it's something like 4 goals in 7 games. We're just better. We're better playing this style of football. And I think David Moyes has done a good job. We go to Palace being confident, just like we did against Brighton, by the way. We went to Brighton and we got a win. So I agree, John. I think there's definitely something in this game for us. I do worry that we haven't got Ndiaye because I think he's such a good footballer. But let's be positive.
You mentioned the injuries we've got, and every day you listen to the radio and they go on about the injuries Spurs have got. If you look at our injury record this season, we've had a good few players out, and a lot of our players who were out, Michael, he's been out for a long space of time. Calvert-Lewin's been out for quite a while. Looks like he's going to be out a bit longer. Now we've got Ndiaye out. Mangala's out for the season. Well, he's gone back anyway, but if he wouldn't have got the injury. So we miss him. Mikalenko's been out. McNeil's been out. We've had our fair share of injuries. And as you quite rightly point out, it's not our strongest 11 that's been starting the last couple of games, only due to injuries. But the players that have come in, you're quite right with what you say. We're playing open, we're playing with more freedom. And I think that's what David Moyes has said to them. Get out there, enjoy yourself. And I'll say it on here again, it's simple instructions, but making it in plain English what he wants them to do. And they're playing with freedom, they're more expansive, they're playing with confidence. And again, mate, I'm going into this Crystal Palace game more confident. I'm going into each game now with the run of the run that we're on under David Moyes to come in, one defeat in the league. People can see it on here, Michael. We spoke about it on the phone. We're confident going into these games now, and it's such a different feeling what we've had in months gone by and years gone by. This is a game we wouldn't give ourselves a chance against Crystal Palace with the run that they're on, 2 defeats in 10. But we're going there and we're talking about getting a positive result. It's a new Everton, mate. It's a new confidence. And the way the fans are feeling, you can see it in the players, mate. They're confident as well. They're going out and they're enjoying themselves. And they're playing basic football. We're not seeing the long high ball anymore. We reverted to most of the time the ball through the channels, as you've pointed out a few times. We're getting in behind the opposition's defence, which is probably the best way to play Beto. It's not rocket science, mate, to see already within a month of David Moyes coming in, we're probably seeing Beto play the best football he's played in an Everton shirt with simple instructions.
Yeah, it's spot on. And when you look at the league table where we are, Everton now 15th in the league, above West Ham. We've managed to catch some of the teams above us. Up until at one point, last week, we were above Spurs. So, Everton, I'm not saying Everton are going to win this game. I'm not saying we're going to, but, if Everton do win this game, we're going to be on level points with Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace are currently sitting in 12th. And don't get me wrong, if Man United win, if Tottenham win, there's another team in between us. No, if Tottenham and Man United win, then we stay roughly on the same points as everyone else. But this Everton team is clawing its way up the league. And I was speaking to a Villa fan earlier, and he said to me, he went, "Do you know what's scary, Mike?" I went, "What?" He went, "Aston Villa are closer to Everton than they are Liverpool." And it's not even close, John. They're 20 points off Liverpool and they're 10 points off Everton. Now, everyone's gone on about Villa and how good they are in the Champions League and all of this stuff. And I'm not digging out Villa, by the way. I'm using them as a yardstick because of the 10 points and the 20 points. But when you look at the position of the teams in this league, a top 10 finish isn't out of the realms of possibility. It really isn't.
Since David Moyes has come in, do you know what? The way I'd like to put it, it was as if everyone above Everton was riding a bike with 2 tyres and they were pulling further and further away, and Everton were on the bike that has a flatty. Now, our punch is fixed, and the teams above us, they've got slow punches in their wheels because, as you quite rightly say, we're clawing away and catching them. I'm not sure if this stat was right. I've seen it on X before. When David Moyes come in, I'm sure someone said West Ham were 9 points ahead of Everton when David Moyes come in. Now we're above them. So everyone was going on about they wanted Graham Potter. He plays good football. Yeah, he has only just gone in there. David Moyes has only just come to us. I see West Ham fans on Twitter, mate, turning around and saying, "We wish we would have kept Moyes." A lot of West Ham fans, a lot of them are on the fence, and I think it was more like 70-30, 60-40. We're in favour of David Moyes. But you look at what David Moyes has done since he come into Everton, mate. Look what he's done with West Ham. And we've spoke on here a couple of times that this squad of players, under a different manager to Sean Dyche, with simple instructions, we're playing the right team, bringing Jake O'Brien in, giving Beto more time and telling him how to play properly.
Yeah.
We said on here we were probably 12th to 14th place team. As you quite right point out, mate, if we don't finish minimum 12 to 14 the way we're playing now and the points we're picking up and the way we're playing, I think it'll be a bit of a disappointment. As you quite rightly say, we could probably finish 12th or even a bit higher. And it just shows, again, I'll say it, simple instructions and a man who said he couldn't get any more out of this team. It's just confidence, mate, and the confidence the fans have got now. You know, you speak to fans, you see them on Twitter. No, it's funny because when we were struggling and everyone was on Twitter and no one was entitled to an opinion and fans were slagging fans off and said they didn't know football. There's none of that anymore. Twitter's actually, or X if you want to call it X, is a nice place to look now because everyone's on the same hymn sheet at the minute, and it's just good. And again, going down to London against Palace, it's nice to feel confident that we will pick something up and not turn around saying, I don't give us a chance because our away form shit and Palace are in good form. I'm confident.
Yeah, spot on. Absolutely spot on. And, you know, Everton are now scoring more goals as well. This is a big thing as well. Everton are scoring, I think it's on average 2 goals a game under David Moyes. Which is incredible thinking about where we was. You know, we were the lowest scorers in the league. We were really poor, but yet we're scoring on average 2 goals a game now, and we're conceding less than we did under Sean Dyche, which, by the way, is mad in itself because the one thing I actually wouldn't criticise Dyche about was we were fine defensively. We just couldn't score. David Moyes has took it up a notch on both ways. We're defending better and we're scoring more. And that is partly because Jake O'Brien's come in. It's partly because of the shape that we now play. It's partly because we're not going long and the ball's just bouncing back. It's because we're keeping the ball. And this Everton team look different. They look different. They feel different. And they're playing different. And, you know, Everton have conceded 30 goals this season. To put that into perspective, nobody in the bottom 10 has conceded less. And you can actually go as far up as 8th. And even Man City have conceded less. Chelsea have conceded less. So Everton, in terms of goals conceded, are about 6th in the league. And the goals that we're now scoring are dragging us up the league. This Everton team, and I know Ndai's a big miss. He scored 5 or 6 goals this season. He's been a breath of fresh air, and I need him to come back as soon as possible. But this Everton team have got something. Now, we are lacking some serious quality over the next few weeks because I do think Ndai's a big miss. I don't know if we're going to be able to rely on Jack Harrison, Lindstrom to keep it up. You know, Doucouré's been poor the majority of the season. I know he has this odd flash of a decent performance, but generally he's been poor this season. I honestly think this is the game, John, where you start Tim. I think you start Tim. I think you throw Jack Harrison in. And I know people will say, you know, we could start Alcaraz. I know people will say that. But I just think Tim... I actually think Tim offered more than Alcaraz on Wednesday night when he come on in that short period. I thought Tim was really good. He got an assist. And for me, Tim starts this game.
I think when you look at all-round attributes between the likes of Alcaraz from what we've seen, little bits, and Tim Ibrahimovic, I think it's a no-brainer that Tim starts. I think I'm not going to say he's a replacement for Ndai because he's not as skillful. But I think he will offer you more all over the pitch, if you see what I'm saying. Yeah. You know, he'll come back and he'll help the defence out and he'll put a tackle into him and he's good at bringing the ball forward just like Ndai is. He's got a pass on him. But I think his defensive side and his tackling side is more than what Element and Ndai will offer you anyway. So I think he can come in and I think he can be a replacement. Not the same sort of replacement, but I think he'll give us enough to cover the injury to Ndai, which looks like it's going to be a matter of weeks that he's going to be out apparently.
Yeah, well, it's probably more the fact that he's going to play instead of Doucouré this week, isn't it? Because Doucouré's injured as well, he's out as well. So you're replacing Jack Harrison's going to start on the left-hand side. and it's going to be between Alcaraz and Tim, who starts in the middle.
I think Tim. Sorry, yeah, I forgot about Decore. I think Tim will come in for Ndai, for Decore.
Yeah. So my team would be unchanged apart from those two changes that I've just made: Decore and Ndai out, and Jack Harrison and Tim start.
I don't think we can change it much more than that anyway with the injuries we've got.
It's just Alcaraz. It's just if people would prefer to see Alcaraz, and look, I don't have an issue with that, but I think what Decore offers is at times a bit of physicality, and I think Tim will offer the similar attribute than what Alcaraz will in that sense. I think Alcaraz has just got to still climatise a little bit. There's a player there, no doubt. There's a player there, but just think he needs to climatise a touch more. And I've been impressed with James Garner. Garner's been great as well. You know, he's like 57 years old, and he's just a machine in that midfield. He just doesn't stop.
He had a good game the other night, Garner guy.
Honestly, I think he's played great since Moyes come in. I think he's been a breath of fresh air yet again. John, I think we just move on to just quickly score predictions, and if we do think where the threat's going to be from Palace.
Well, they've brought some good players in, haven't they? You know, Palace are capable of scoring goals. They've got fast midfielders. They'll let you on the break if they have to. They can get at you. They're a big physical team, Crystal Palace, but they've also got some skillful players as well. So Everton have got to be on their game from the off, mate. Otherwise, you will get hit by Palace.
We were linked with Mateta a few years ago for literally a couple of million quid. He's been linked with Barcelona this morning. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to go there, but it just shows what a different manager, different approach, different thing can do. And he's looked a handful. They obviously have good players. We know that. Eze has been a good player for them. They've got
didn't bring someone in called Esser or someone as well. Yeah. He's come in and he's at the ground running, as you mentioned. Eze, Mateta is capable of scoring a goal if he can be asked when he's on it. You know, if he's on his game, Mateta will score. It's a worrying opposition with some individual quality that they've got. But let's not discount Everton, mate. Everton are playing well, and Crystal Palace are going to be wary of this game with the form that we're in at the minute.
Just a stat, just to throw it, just before we give our score predictions. Crystal Palace have won just one of their past 20 Premier League games against Everton, and that was back in 2021. However, David Moyes has lost all three of his battles with Oliver Glasner, twice at Frankfurt and one West Ham against Palace. So Everton statistically, or whatever that is, would go into this game confident they'd get something. David Moyes, on the other hand, would be like, oh my God, I'm facing a manager I can't beat. So I don't know what the score is, guys. But do you know what? I went for a draw the other night at 1-1. I think I might end up with another draw this one as well. I think this one could be 1-1 as well.
That was my score. I agree. So
there you go. So look, we'll leave it there. This has been a long preview, to be fair. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you follow me and John on all the socials as well. And look, just keep smiling. The ride it's great at the minute. We're on a nice smooth bit, just speeding up slowly, ready to get up that roller coaster. And we're hoping that roller coaster just keeps going, whereas it could go down. So let's hope it goes up and not down. All right, people?
Thank you, Mrs. later for Valentine's Day.
Splendid. Anyway, have a fantastic Valentine's Day, everyone. Up the toffees. Peace.